Towers of Doom, let's go! Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the Underdog Cup in Group B, and we're now heading into the winner bracket semi-finals. So, let's go! Club R is going to play against the KD Agents. Why do you hate fun? Why do you hate me? Why do you hate the audience? That is an F right there. The KD Agents already with a yellow card. 100% yellow card right there. I wish I had one right now because I would use it. So they banned Cho'Gall, and I don't care how much your opponent is known to be a Cho'Gall team. If they want to play Cho'Gall, you let them play Cho'Gall. Them's are the rules. It's a best of 3 series. Heroes can only be played once, and the Underdog Cup focuses heavily on teams that, well, first of all, only teams that are in Heroes Lounge can participate. But the whole idea here is to shine a light on the amateur scene, on Heroes Lounge also as an organization, and just show you a couple of teams that you might have seen in other contexts and some smaller tournaments that I've already hosted, but there you don't see regularly. And also give those teams a chance to participate in a tournament environment with a bit of prize money that they can fight for, maybe also get the confidence to jump into some of the bigger events here. We have teams ranging right now from Division 2 to Division 5, so that means we're getting pretty much anything from like a bronze player to up Grandmaster level. Especially in the Division 2 teams, there's obviously a lot of high-level players. Some of them even play in top teams. I used the example of Itrax, but here you have Makotzel, for example. Those are all players that you've already seen in some of the big events and tournaments, but most of those players also play with some friends and with just other teams in the amateur scene, in the higher levels. We excluded Division 1 because, again, the idea is to give teams and players a chance that normally would not play in those high-level events. And I don't want, you know, to have just some high-up Division 1 team that consists of former pros to just farm a tournament like this too. So really the goal is to showcase some of the amateur plays, some of the amateur players, teams, and also make this a little bit more relatable because, again, what you're seeing here is way more to what you would experience in your own games than obviously what you see when we are just focusing on the top level play. But don't worry, we're going to have more top level tournaments too. We're just throwing the Underdog Cup in every now and then. I had 2 in the past and it was always a lot of fun. So we're going to do it again here. Prize money again put up by me, myself. And we're now going to check out what's going to happen with this. If you want to support tournaments like this, by the way, you can also support the stream on patreon.com. Please keep that in mind. So big shout out to all of the supporters that actually already support the stream there. It's very, very much appreciated. Without you, a lot of the stuff would not be possible, as I keep repeating, but it's true. So again, if anybody wants to support events like this, tournaments, you can check that out and do it there. That's the best way to support all the efforts here. Garrosh and Tychus now for the picks. So we have Garrosh and Blaze as our frontline for them. Diablo and Anduin on the other side for the KD Agents, with Junkrat as a follow-up for Towers of Doom. Now the Haka ban. Stitches is more and more a pick that we are seeing on Ooh, Vikings. Alright, I like it. We get a Vikings pick. So they redeem themselves a little bit for that ban on Cho'Gall. But we also have now Tracer plus Anduin, meaning light bomb engage from Tracer plus Vikings on the bigger map to try and get the experience here. And the blue team has only 1 pick left to respond to this. So what is Balor going to take for Club R? And, well, the answer is we get Falstad. So we get a global to try and check that out a bit. But we're off to the races. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Club R against the KD Agents. Map number 1 in the best of 3 series here in Group B. Club R in blue starts things off on the left with Makotzel on Garrosh. We got Whitey on Blaze, Balon Falstad, Endless with Tychus, and Cassia with Lucio. On the right side of the map, the opponents, the KD Agents with Simply on Diablo. We got McGiblets on Anduin, the White Tiger on Tracer, Kani on Junkrat, and Time Bullet. He's playing the Lost Vikings in the first game of the series. White Tiger, let me see. Does he ride the White Tiger again? Oh, that's an F. That is. Nope. He did it previously, but now we have the pleb horse. Not only does he not ride the White Tiger, he rides the Poverty Horse. that is just wrong on so many levels. That's the second yellow card that they have. I mean, honestly, at this point, they are this close to being disqualified for the tournament. First, they banned Cho'Gall, then White Tiger doesn't ride the White Tiger. I mean, I'm not angry. Just disappointed. Yeah, crying shame. Guys, once again, if you are not really familiar with Heroes Lounge, you should definitely check them out. There will be a link in the description of the video, but they are the biggest amateur scene in Europe. You can also play when you live in NA, but you have to play cross-server, of course, and might have to adjust to the times as well. But if you haven't played here in the past, you really, really should. If you're passionate about Heroes of the Storm, this is the best way to play the game. You can sign up as an individual player, you can sign up also as a team. It doesn't cost anything. I feel every time that I talk about signing up, some people might think, oh my god, you need to pay some kind of crazy sign-up fee. That is not the case. But you will get a team, you can play with like-minded people, theory craft a little bit, try and practice some strategies and stuff, and it is really a completely different playing experience than relying on the public matchmaking. So if you haven't checked them out yet, I can highly recommend to have a look. heroeslounge.gg is the website. You can just go there. They have a very, very active Discord. If you have any questions or anything that you're worried about, you can also just go to their Discord and ask there. So would very heavily recommend that you give that a look. The Vikings are already splitting on the lanes. And, well, for now, we have also the quarterback on level 1. We got Astelrando and a bit of extra damage against Garrosh over here as Tracer is starting to dance around them a bit. With the level 4 talents, we get the bigger they are, so they're going to target Diablo, of course, heavily and trying to burn him down to a crisp if they can. And the Piercing Light for Anduin. Not even the Vikings dying so far. I have to admit that the Viking player, Time Bullet, is thus far at least doing a good job there. Now, there's a 4-man for Club Artist, has to respond to all of this, so they're not really going a lot of Viking hunting. Here in the middle, yep, is able to get away from this one as well, even with Lucio trying to follow. Couldn't quite. And now down at the bottom of the map, some easy damage from Kani as Junkrat just fires away grenades and escorted the minion wave into the towers. So, yeah, not too shabby for them. Triple Altar phase, of course, now coming up. That's going to be the next one here. And, yeah, I'm a bit curious which team is actually going to prevail in this one. I have very little information about Club R, to tell you the truth here. I don't actually think that I ever casted them. A couple of the players obviously very much so ring a bell, and they are Division 2 team as well. So this is, both teams are in Division 2. And Markotzl has been playing in tons of top teams and has a lot of experience there. But casted Barlow in the past as well. But there's definitely a couple of names here that don't necessarily ring a bell. But are the KD agents able to take them on? Or is this going to be the blue team with a big showing here in the winner bracket semi-final? And moved straight into the winner bracket final over their opponents. For now, we haven't seen a single kill yet, but we have 2 of the altars taken by the blue team. Only 1 by the KD agents. In the middle of the map, a little bit more party happening here still with the Vikings. I think Eric died earlier, but he's the only one so far, from what I've seen, that has actually gone down. We got Malevolence for Diablo. A bit of a fight over here, potentially for the camps, but already claimed, so yeah. And with Falstad, still, of course, a global hero that can throw a bit of a wrench into the plans of the agents. But right now, it is still a very, very even game. I mean, nobody wants to expose themselves to some silly gank or whatever, so nobody has died so far. Markotzl is dropping a bit low, but even he is going to be totally fine here. And the agents still looking to also work on those pumpkins. Prevent all of them from moving into the wall. And there comes the side play from Garrosh, but he nearly has to pay the price for it. So yeah, totally okay. And the Vikings are still controlling the lanes. Just continuously. Not a lot of damage against the Vikings. They're controlling the side lane. They're controlling the experience here. We have them by now on level 7, also with Spin to Win, which is of course going to be a fantastic tool to clear those waves a little bit faster. In comes Blaze though. They're trying to turn this into a numbers advantage, and they go for Simply, and they drop him. Diablo is down. first blood in the game. They might have a chance to go for Tracer here. She tried to turn it around, couldn't. And there's the kill on Tigers, but Tracer falls a moment later. So they're trading kills, but overall, Club are with 2 kills to 1. Very even experience still, but they can now access the bottom altar and get another set of shots fired against the KD agents. So, there we go. Shots are in, and that's now 28 points on the core. Level 10 abilities, a little bit faster for the Viking team, but just by the smallest of margins. So heroics are quickly picked up by the blue team too. No surprises here. We get the light bomb engage with Tracer as we expected. Falstad with the mighty gust. And of course Odin for good old Tigers. Going double StarCraft on this one. A fire bat. Careful. Yeah, okay, gets the grenade out. And, well, off we go. So the Renegade is in the house. And I'm still... Diablo with Apocalypse is something that's actually really fun if you have like a proper engage from him. And that's exactly what I want to see here. With Vikings in the mix, that's obviously something where you can, in big team fights, create tons of chaos. If it ever comes to that, but usually after level 16, the Vikings are coming in here. Now, in this case, both of them are obviously on the same side, just as a little bit of a side note. And they steal the camp. Blue team moves in, steals the camp away. It's an easy grab. Falstad with the gust. Yeah, and I like it. Really nicely done. So they are able to put themselves in an even better position with Pumpkins now joining the fight and griefing. Look at that. Look at that thing. Full on grief mode. Unbelievable. Blizzard, small indie company. Olaf goes down. Tracer somehow survived. The fight just raging on as everybody looks in awe at that pumpkin who just refuses to attack. He's like, I want to live. Didn't want to blow itself up, so yeah. No Allahu Akbar play on this one, but instead we get the pumpkin just murdered by the tower slowly and steadily. 2 kills to 1 over here. The red team is defending really well at the bottom of the map, I gotta say though. So they've done a great job making sure that they're not losing the wall or anything. But yeah, with that we have still Diablo engaging again. They're getting some nice hits from Garrosh though, and this is actually a problem for the red team because now they might lose multiple heroes here, especially after the jet propulsion connects with Anduin. They already took Diablo out. That's Anduin gone. The light bomb was still thrown out by him, but they could not get the kill. Here comes the play again for the Vikings, and Falstad falls immediately back a notch. But the Vikings are obviously getting heavily farmed here. So that's 5 kills to 1 overall. We only have 1 Viking surviving, and they're still fighting over that altar in the middle, with Tracer dropping lower and lower, trying for the recall, and she gets destroyed before she can get the kill on Falstad. But at least the Vikings are able to pick up the slack, come in and drop the target. It's 6 kills to 2 now, level 13 on the board, a half-level lead for Club R, and they are finally about to grab that altar. So now we have another 4 shots fired, and that drops the red team down to 24 points. Nicely done. Absolute chaos reigning for just a second there, and not too bad. Tracer with the 27,000 damage for now, and then on top of that we have, of course, on the other side, Tigers with 33,000. So he's been able to pick up lots and lots of damage on this one. So not too bad. Yeah, second highest damage dealer is actually Garrosh on the team. So it's also kind of wild when you think about it. They're invading the camp again, or at least they're trying to. So they're just shutting time and time again the red team down when they're trying to go for their own camp here. So, yeah, in this case, the blue team locks in another set of pumpkins. Would love to escort that straight into the bell tower itself, though. But a little bit more likely is that all that we're going to see here is the... Well, actually, the tower's going to fall, yeah. These two are connecting. So, nicely done. And with that, of course, now, the opportunity to snowball is a little bit further past the wall and straight for the bell tower if they have a shot at it. The Vikings still pushing lanes, but I have to admit that Blaze has been doing a really good job on those side lanes the entire time. And here comes the APOC, but the engage from Simply not really yielding anything for them. So wasn't quite as successful as we were hoping. And now Diablo might actually be in trouble again. Moves out here, is low. Can they get a hold of him? And the answer is probably yes. They're trying to go for Garrosh instead. Tracer is also low. Tries to get the kill here. Endless is about to get killed and gets murdered. Was fighting against Tracer and against Junkrat. Definitely a lack of coordination in that last battle by the two teams. This did not look all that great, honestly. If they coordinated that one better, this would have looked way... this could have been a bit a quicker win for them. So it's an exchange in bell towers for now that we're getting. And I have to admit, even with the Vikings, so far the blue team hasn't lost that many altars. Normally with Vikings there's a little more pressure on a macro level. That hasn't really been the case yet. With the next triple altar phase we might see more of it. But so far there were only two altars lost by Club R. Everything else were able to log in. We now have level 16 talents available. That gives us also the full synergy with the Titan Grenade now for Tigers. Come in again for White Tiger over here. We are 11.5 minutes into the game, and we've only seen 9 kills so far. We have level 16 now. Bell Tower has not been converted over yet. So it's still a very back and forth game. You can see that the blue team is starting to really inch ahead slightly. But every time that they pick up a kill, it seems that shortly after, the KD agents are able to respond. This was a nice pickup on Junkrat though. He was just a bit too far out and too aggressive with his positioning and got punished for it. But there's always the Viking factor that you obviously have to account for. If at any point they are starting to take bell towers down and maybe the blue team loses a big team fight, they could make the difference. So right now it's nearly a level advantage for the blue team. They're trying again for Diablo. Nice damage from Tigers. The pull forward, Odin already used. Anduin seems like he's able to save simply, and thanks to the quick top off at the fountain, Diablo's going to be fine for now. Tracer, not so much. Tracer gets the grenade to the face, and that's the end of her. Just gets popped like a pimple. As they look for the next target, they drop Olaf. Focus on Diablo, who again gets pulled out, but needs to run and run fast. Riptire's trying to stop the pumpkins and does initially, but they're not able to take him on. So the triple altar phase is up, and 2 of those altars should go to the blue team. They already get the first set fired, and it seems like they're gonna get a little bit more greedy than that, aren't they? That's a channel. Eric is out. Grenades connect. They are getting the one on the left side with Falstad from the looks of it. Actually, no, they're not. They're trying to go for the birdie, but he dodges out on most of the damage, and wow, that's brutal. A jet propulsion, and then the follow-up is right there. The red team is at least going to drop down to 16 points. If somehow Club R can come in and claim this third one as well, they would drop already into the single digits, which would of course be yeah, horrible for them. Tracer is dead. Diablo body blocked a little bit, tries to turn it here, but he's dropping quickly, and Anduin has to again save him. This is a lot. We've seen this pattern a lot. That Diablo has to be saved time and time again by Anduin as he's getting bullied by Garrosh, for example. So now it's all about the interrupt potential on the channel. We have Tracer with 48,000 damage. Tigers on 58k. Again, they go for Diablo. They want the kill on Simply. They want to have the opportunity to go for the next channel. And they're not quite able to pull it off, but they have now taken Eric out. That's another tool that is missing for the KD agents to get the interrupt. They're even sacrificing the Apocalypse now. But this isn't looking all too great. Junkrat is going to get some grenades over, most likely. But there's the channel. They get it. And that's single digits on the core of the KD agents. They're down to 8 points. 32 points to 8. So great spot for Club R to be in game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Yeah, they're doing really well. 10 kills to 3. More pumpkins about to be claimed. And just so you have a bit of an idea when it comes to the experience distribution, you can see the big differences here in, for example, hero XP, thanks to those extra kills that they have. But also in mercenary experience. There's a huge gap. All in all, it might not be the biggest number, but that's also because the camps don't give that much XP and because the others are way more significant. But that's still a fair chunk of experience that they gain through it. No way! No way! Falstad escapes thanks to the Gust. Thanks to the Gust, Falstad is able to get out, and so is the rest of the team. At the bottom of the map, Bell Tower is taking more and more damage through those minion waves. But it seems that finally we're going to get a few camps also taken by the KD agents as they're invading the camp and claim the pumpkins. Oh, Diablo, careful. Yeah, eats the bigger they are from Tychus, gets saved and makes it out. But the bunker is on the ground and they're burning the Vikings as Falset comes in from the side and annihilates Diablo. Diablo just gone, altar active at the bottom of the map. Tracer is coming in. The bomb hurts, but it doesn't hurt enough. They're still alive. They're still kicking. We have a double altar up. If both of them get taken by Club R, they win game number 1. And that's what they're working on right now. Diablo's back, eats the jet propulsion, and goes down. And this time he's down for the full duration. They kill Anduin, but Falstad is also lost. The Vikings are slowly but steadily getting annihilated here as Junkrat is trying to retreat, and I'm going to be honest, this is not looking good for the KD agents. They are down to just a few defenders here that can try to interrupt, and Blaze is getting that bell tower as well. Makes it even harder to engage and disengage for the red team. Tracer is dropping hit points. Tracer is about to die, and this should be game. Vikings and Junkrat, the only thing standing between Club R and victory in game number 1. Junkrat is gone, and this is gonna be it. Shots are being fired. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner in game number 1. Club R is taking the lead in this best of 3 series in the winner bracket semi-final. And yeah, well-deserved victory on Towers of Doom, no doubts about it. Great job, and we're headed straight for the second map of the series. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Well, Brexit Holdout. Not a map that I expected in the series, but we get Cho'Gall banned again. Now, there was a response immediately in Twitch chat after the KD agents lost the first map, and the response was essentially, that's what you get for banning Cho'Gall. So, if that is any indication, then they're already off to a pretty bad start in game number 2. So, we get Genji banned out. Cho'Gall gets eliminated. 10 heroes have obviously been played and cannot be played again, which means that the hero pool is a bit more limited, but yeah, not that much that it would make a huge difference just yet. Again, these are now both Division 2 teams, so this is already slowly starting to be the higher up of what we're seeing in the tournament. When initially at the early rounds, you know, in game number 1, maybe in the early loser bracket, you still have a couple of players that might be on a silver level, platinum level, gold level. But now as we're moving into the later stages of the group stage, especially in the winner bracket, we are starting to get some of the better teams facing off against each other in the tournament, which we will obviously also see in the playoffs. But still interesting given that it's Brax's holdout here. And it was map choice by the KD agents, who decided that they don't want to have first pick or first ban, so they specifically targeted this map, and that leads us to a Gul'dan first pick. So they are gonna try to do their thing with wave clear on the bot lane. What you oftentimes get on Baxter's holder, of course, too, is mobile heroes. Genji, Karazim, like anybody that can move between the lanes very quickly. Junkrat is included there too. Brightwing, all those heroes are usually playing a big role there because you can make an easy rotation between lanes, or an easier rotation between lanes. But it seems that both of the teams are actually going away from this at least a little bit. Imperius can traverse terrain, but Malfurion can't, so they will be split if they're trying to do that. One tank is Muradin usually that we're seeing here, but Dehaga is now up at the top. And we got Auriel. But really want to see what this side laner battle is going to be too. At this point you would assume that it's Dehaga against Imperius, but Simply is the main tank for the team. They can play, let's say, a triple front line and do that. Play 2 more melees next to Imperius, go for a completely different side laner. I don't know, throw Rega in or whatnot. For a second I was like, was Blaze already played? And I was like, yeah, of course, game number 1. As you would normally expect. Sergeant Hammer gets banned out. That is another good ban. Honestly, it's smart bans that we're seeing from the KD agents. They're banning heroes that would be a huge problem given what the opponent is running. And yeah, they do their homework. Gotta give them that. Mephisto. Fan out, and we get Arthas plus Zagara. Okay. Zagara is gonna get you your wave clear. Can easily take the Zerg waves out. And Arthas, of course, he can control this also quite well. Bit of a question what we're going to get on the side of Club R as extra damage. If they would, of course, have planned to go into something like Greymane, Illidan, whatnot, then Arthas gets even more value. I think at this point we can probably nope that one. Vala and Johanna are the picks. So you got Jojo, Dehaka, you got Vala now there, and we have a final pick for White Tiger, who already has a yellow card for not picking the White Tiger. So I hope that this time, you know, he is channeling his inner Mount God and is going for the synergy here. Because if not, then I'm not quite sure what we're going to do here. I have to talk to the admins about this. This is unacceptable. So, Brexit, map number 2, and we're getting off here. Ladies and gentlemen, off to the races for the second game. First match point for Club R as they go up against the KD agents once again. Over on the right side of the map, it is simply with Imperius. We have Time Bullet on Arthas, Giblets on Malfurion, Kani on Zagara, and White Tiger is playing off here. So, on Braxis, what are we gonna get here? We have an auto attack for Vala, so despite the fact that they're running only a single healer and no triple front line, we're seeing them right now with an auto attack. Stacks also for Gul'dan as he goes into the Echoed Corruption. And then over on the right side, we're getting Internal Hunger. We have right now the Impaling Light for Imperius. Top side, this is where, yeah, Dehaka is currently being pushed pretty aggressively. But damn, we are having action all over the place. So down at the bottom of the map, for example, it's the 3 versus 3 that is now just busting out here. But they were trying to get mega aggressive at the top lane. Now Endless is still holding the line as much as he can. Has the wave clear, of course. But especially with Zagara, if you're up against her, it can get tricky. Dehaka had to retreat and now just globaled in again. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, we have the attempt of Vala to get a couple of stacks together. So she came in and is connecting the auto attacks, but also has to be mega careful that Imperius is not coming in with a lunge and locks her down, because the follow-up from Malfurion would very likely spell doom for her, with Orphea being always ready to drop the quick damage on this. So that's a big problem that they're currently running here. But all the way up at the top, we're now still having a little bit of extra pressure. Seems like the 2 versus 3 setup is now stabilizing. So initially the red team trying to change the usual status quo on Braxis holdout, and with success, definitely applying pressure. They chose the map, so they wanted this. They wanted a style like this, and that's exactly what they got. We now have Gul'dan dropped at the top though, and even Dehaka is getting pushed back again. Kani doing pretty okay here. Time Bullet still looking for a chance. 1 kill to 0, but that's a mad amount of progress on the objective. They're gonna take this easily. They had the perfect split with their heroes. They got a kill at the top, no chance at the bottom to engage here either, and that's 100 to 0 right from the start. 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and they locked the objective in, which is kind of bonkers when you think about it. So, damn, that was pretty impressive. The KD agents, they chose the map, they came in with a plan, and they executed it to perfection, at least in the early game. Is that going to be enough to gain momentum so that they can take the entire map and force game number 3? I mean, time will tell, but they are off to a good start for sure. So right now we have the top lane pressure just crushing through that wall with ease, and this is going to likely also damage the fort a little bit further. Well, the Guardians get another shot or 2 in, but that's about it. Still, pretty solid effort. Only a single kill, all that they needed. Trying to maybe stop that rotation. They were hoping that there was an isolated hero traveling down, I guess. But that wasn't the case. We have Arthas going into his trade build, starting things with Internal Hunger, and already has 5 stacks together. 26 stacks for Vala. Hasn't died yet, of course. But I gotta say, I like the aggression from the KD agents. If that was from the beginning just all out planned, then hey, like a tip to that. Well done. Now, this is obviously only the early game. It's the first objective. Blue team, they will try and stabilize here. They're not too far behind in experience. They're a kill behind. There are a couple of structures at the top behind. And a bit of experience. Nothing really too insane. This is definitely something you can still turn. But I love that the team came in with a big plan and made their move. White Tiger, not with the White Tiger mount, by the way. But I am leaning toward letting that slide. The coordination on the colors alone is a plus. So, no yellow card for him. This is actually a pretty sweet lineup that he's running. Good synergy between mount and skin. So, yeah, I'll let that slide. Good move. Good choice. White Tiger with a bit of a redemption arc here. Also on the individual level. Always nice to see it. Level 7 talents are already in. So now the attack coming through the top with Gul'dan just firing away. But down at the bottom of the map, we get Arthas and we get Zagara. And the Haga's just sitting here and shitting his pants because he can absolutely do nothing. I mean, again, he alone in particular has no chance there. So these splits that we're getting from the KD agents are doing an enormous amount of damage in all of this. So down at the bottom of the map, the Haga still eating dirt. And it is a tricky one. This is really a bit of a problem for Club R. If you're falling too far behind on a map like Praxis, then momentum can very quickly become your enemy. And you can already see that both of the beacons are targeted right away. At the bottom of the map, they're trying to bring this back with those two. Nice damage against Arthas. But it's still decent progress early on for the KD agents. Guys, they're crushing this thing. When it comes to the objective here, they're absolutely murdering it. I mean, look at it. They're at 52% again, and this has just started. The Haga's trying to at least slow it down, and he can. But it's not only about slowing it down, they need to try and turn it. So, massive, massive moves from the KD agents. Go again for Gul'dan, and he's gone. Did not see that flank coming. Blue team gets a tiny bit of progress, but yeah, it's 12%. That doesn't really do anything for you. Arthas completes his quest. Makes him even more dangerous. Talking about quests, Svala also with one already in. Oh, and that is Oriel safe. Safe for now. One short heal out, but not only do we have more pressure at the bottom of the map as they're going for the Haka and drop him, we also have them the objective and they get it again. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So right now we have the Zerg wave, again 100 to essentially 0 because you always get the 18%, you always get the minimum, and that's all that they got. It's 4 kills to 0, level 10 abilities. KD Angels, they look like a different team. They absolutely look like a different team. It's crazy. Like game number 1, towards the end, it was just the Club R show. And on the objective, when you looked at the core in the first game, it was what, 32 points to 0 at the end? And right now, we're having an absolute meltdown. The KD agents, they're going through Club R like hot butter through cheese. Just crushing them, melting the team whenever they see them, and dominating the objective to an extent that is ridiculous. There's some counter pressure at the top against the fort now, but the defense is slowly coming in as the blue team is still struggling to get level 10 abilities, and they're coming in for that keep. There's level 10, Imperius is gone, but the keep will fall. At least there's more heroes now taken out, and they're killing 4. They're having 3 already eliminated. Now they're coming in for Ophia, and they drop her as well. So Ophia is down. That's 4 heroes that get murdered, and that brings them back in experience again. But structurally, they have lost way too much. 5 kills to 4 now. But the bot lane is a disaster. The bot lane is an absolute disaster. Up here at the top, they want the fort, and they get it. The Haka, can he actually get away from this? I'm not so certain with Arthas being on his heels. Dodge the Howling Blast, boss move. But yeah, it's not enough. It's just not enough. They were trying to rotate in and help him out, but couldn't. So now we have the keep destroyed at the bottom of the map. Big plays made by the KD agents. They sacrifice a lot of heroes in the process. But now that they have another shot, they're going straight for the boss. And Club R really has to decide when they want to go for a fight. I mean, at some point, you just got to roll the dice, right? Is it now? With only 4 heroes? And they have Horrify not ready yet. Blessed Shield, but the boss is taken. More is there. A few more seconds and Horrify would have been ready. But as is, they are losing Vala. That's also attack speed gone. And here comes the kill against Auriel. It is an absolute brutal show of strength that we're seeing from the KD agents. They're coming in. They want Gul'dan. They get Gul'dan. And, yep, at this point, they just got to decide how they want to play that game out. Because the boss is at the top lane, still doing damage here. They have a 1-level lead. They have 5 kills ahead again. They can steal the mercenary camps away, which is exactly what they're currently doing. We get 33,000 damage from Ophir, 23,000 from Vala. So the difference there is already significant. Look at Zagara, for example. She's outpacing Vala as well. And with the camps now taken on all lanes and the fort at the top destroyed, the next objective is coming up so they can go for another Zerg wave. And it's already it was difficult enough early on when the forts were still standing for Club R to go and try and take the objective. Now that they don't even have a fountain anymore on both of the lanes, it's going to become even more tricky. Again, to be fair, top fort obviously and fountain also gone here. But generally speaking, the advantages that the KD agents are accumulating here, it's something that is... I don't know how the blue team plans on dealing with this. They're losing ground on the objective already. And they seem to be a little bit lost. Blue team seems a bit lost. Like, how are we going to deal with this? They got level 13, so now they can fight. This has to be the moment. Double more against both of the damage dealers. The root on the ground. And here's the ult. Vala is dead. Orphea gets big damage. So does Cassia. Malfurion dies, but they are still able to get 2 important kills. And guess what? As before, we now have another 100% Zerg wave for the KD agents. So they grabbed it again successfully. And with both of the damage dealers gone after that nice maw, this also means that the defense is at least slowed down. The 2 will be back in 4 seconds or so, but they are still missing at the beginning of the fight. A little bit slow to the party here, and that allows the KD agents to go through that wall mega quickly. Here comes Syndragosa. They're pushing through the top. They look for the kills. Keep will fall. 100%. Can't save it. Only question that remains is, can you save your core? Vala keeps attacking. She has 2 quest rewards. Gul'dan not done with this quest yet, but here come the KD agents. Not on 16 yet. Malfurion is back. He's coming this way and has his ult ready too. Could drop another Twilight Dream on the opponent and might actually do that. Starts to move in. Core is losing its shield. They're going to take damage here. They're like... they might lose the game. They might go to game number 3 right here, right now. The Haka in trouble again. Aegis has to be popped. Vala, Maud. Can they get the follow-up? They're coming in with Orphea. The Haka is the one that falls first. Vala is dead. So is Imperius. But the core is down to 50. It's down to 40. Down to 30. They're about to take the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to game number 3 in this winner bracket semi-final in Group B. GG, well played. Coming up next, we have the 3rd map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor. Support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Game number 3. Shoga gets banned again. Still a little bit sad about this, but the series is definitely a bit of a banger. And kudos to the KD agents. I gotta admit, that was solid. I like it. I like it a lot. Great performance by them. Able to pull that off. Not bad. They picked the map and you could clearly see that they came in with a plan, executing a strategy, and totally crushing it. And Club R was not ready for it. Club R was simply not ready for that. And I like that. I like it when a team has an idea and it works out perfectly. So now we're going into game number 3. It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity, the final map here in the winner bracket semi-final. But yeah, good fun. So for now, we're getting Chromie and Liming both banned out. Hanzo is the first pick. Honor. Redemption. And yeah. I'm kind of intrigued. 20 heroes have been played, cannot be played again. So there's that. And now the big question, of course, how is the blue team going to react to that recent loss that they just suffered on Brax's holdout? With BOE, there's actually a lot of heroes that are now either banned or unavailable that you would normally play on Battlefield of Eternity for damage. Hanzo is unavailable. Chromie Liming have been banned. Vala has already been played. You could still play Reyna, of course, with Exterminator. Greymane is also still up. Yes. I was just thinking, was Greymane played in game number 1? No, I don't think so. So, we got Muradin and we got Brightwing. Now they ban out Genji quickly. I like the Chen pick already. I love when Chen gets played. Chen can be super fun. I mean, let him eat cake. Fat Illidan is always enjoyable. Anubarak also. I actually have to... Okay... What are we getting as the final ban? Well, they're getting rid of Stuko. Fair enough. So they you can tell from that ban pattern already that one of the things that they were worried about outside of just Cho'Gath was Varian engaging and then the follow-up, so a sniper comp that would allow the blue team to come in, kill heroes, pick him off one by one, and then win team fights that way. So we're a little bit worried about that. Now that Varian has been banned out, the blue team went into Anubarak, who can oftentimes fulfill a very similar role if you have the follow-up, and that's why they now banned Stukov to make sure that that's not the case. Deckard Cain is a nice replacement, gives you zone control too, and we get Greymane. Already mentioned him as an option for the team since they need something to do direct damage to the Immortal that's significant enough. And then on the other side we get a Thrall together with Muradin. And the final weapon. Are they going to go triple frontline? Or is Thrall going to go top lane? Could go Trash Lightning. Just saying. We might go pink here. They go Hogger. Thrall likely part of the 4-man. And could go into Trash Lightning as a result. Would be kind of cool. It's obviously something that you really need to build up to ramp up the damage on the hero. But it's something that's always fun to watch and to speculate if they can actually make it work or not. So we'll see if Thrall is really going to be the one that joins the 4-man, but it's highly likely. But even in that case, he still needs to come in and take the proper talent, which isn't a given. But on this map, it's possible at least. So that brings us to the final choice. We get Tassadar, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, Battlefield of Eternity, the final map in the best of 3 series between Club R and the KD Agents. Game number 3, Club R over on the left in blue. With Machko on Anubarak, we got Whitey on Chen, Bala on Greymane, Endless is playing Tassadar, and we got Cassia on Deckard. On the right side of the map, the KD Agents with a big victory on Braxis. Now we have them with Simply on Muradin, McGiblets on Brightwing, Kani on Hanzo, White Tiger on Thrall, and Time Bullet is playing Hogger. Now, interestingly enough, we actually have for Thrall, despite the fact that he is in the 4-man, the Trolling Thunder. So, as I already said, even if you are in the 4-man as Thrall on Battlefield of Eternity, it's not necessarily a given that you're going to go for Trash Lightning. So, we have him right now with a Trolling Thunder. Already a couple of walls being set up. They want the quick kill on Machko, and they get it! Nice! Quick hit, and that is Anubarak gone. Well done. I have to say, the KD Agents, they are kind of impressing me here. Game number 1, and also with the players and the way that they coordinated the game, blue team became quickly a favorite. But then the second map happens, and it's just a perfect execution of the strategy that was well prepared. And the red team just runs over Club R. And now in game number 3, they are just using the momentum from the last map and just continue where they left off. 2 kills this early in the game, dropping Tassadar 2. This is big. This is huge. This is a great start into the game. Nobody wants to drop down into the loser's bracket, of course. Teams wanna jump into the next round here, and well, we'll see how that works out for them. We have Chen getting attacked and killed, so he's gone. And yeah, down at the bottom of the map, we now have still a little bit of pressure, but the camp was obviously taken by the red team too. They took both of them. Red team has taken both camps. They got 3 kills to 0. They took the top camp, and they stole the one at the bottom of the map. So this couldn't be a better opening for them. A 1-level lead already. 4 minutes into the game. 2 minutes into the game. What am I even talking about? 1-level lead, 2 minutes in, and they're looking fantastic here. The blue team, they have to take a breather, and they have to just reset. That's what they got to do. They're clearly capable of winning this. They're clearly strong. They showed it in game number 1. But currently, it is one team that is driving this train, and it is the agents. So, Muradin already sniffing this out on the left side. They were maybe even thinking about getting more aggressive. Stormball is in, bit of a follow-up. Obviously, Thrall is working on his quest reward on level 4. But still that 1-level lead gives the stats advantage. I don't think that they can get level 7 with this. That's unlikely. So, up at the top, we have now Time Bullet starting to fight this out against Chen again, but with the objective now popping up, they're already in position, and that's where they can start to leverage Hanzo. Not really a full connect here by him, but still getting this one slowly. Brightwing is a bit low, and Uberak, okay, but they get that halftime show. Oh yeah, they will definitely get it. There's a little bit of counter damage coming now in at the top, but it is, well, actually, it is way more than I expected. Yeah, with Greymane, he did a fantastic job there. I thought this would be nearly nothing that they can chip in, but that was solid. That was really good. So by now we have still the race on. Hanzo is of course going to try and do his thing here, but they are also defending. They came in with the entire team. They came prepared. They're trying to go for Greymane. They're trying to go for Chen. And Chen in particular is in trouble and is the first one to fall in that fight. Hanzo is back on the Immortal. He's going to win it for the red team. And Club R is struggling. They lose the objective and they have lost 4 heroes. So it's not only an Immortal push. It's an Immortal push with a 50% shield and a talent advantage. Especially the last point here. A little bit more important in all of this. So, yeah. This is gonna get nasty. The quest on Thrall at least has been reset, so he was missing. He missed one of his wolves, so now it's back to 0. He's at least getting a double connect immediately upon starting the fight here, but still has to be a bit more careful when he's about to complete the quest, but obviously the fight was going really well for them. Now they're opening the side wall up. Decent defense by Club Ars though. The shield is gone, half the HP is gone, the fort will still take some damage, so they're coming in and trying to drop this one. So far it's not quite 100% working out, but there's the completed quest for Thrall, so that's at least a silver lining. They would have lost more damage on the bottom fort, but they're gonna take that. Still 1 level of an advantage though for the KD agents. So this is really the time now slowly where Club R needs to get their act together. Because if you now lose more heroes, then that level 10 is going to be accelerated by so much more for your opponent, and then it gets dicey around the next objective. You definitely want to avoid having a huge experience disadvantage on objective number 2. If that's a free one with heroic abilities on the side of the red team, then you're going to be in trouble and you're potentially going to lose the first fort of the game. But for now, 1 level lead, and Uberak gets dodged, and the Storm Bolts still connect. Yeah, they're sieging up heavily down here. That 4-man is getting aggressive. 6-minute mark in a second. Wizened Duelist, by the way. We got the elusive Brawler for Chen. 2 more hits are in. All the way up at the top. Time Bullet, okay. So I'm going to do his thing here now as well. Down to the bottom of the map. Muradin jumps out as the blue team becomes more aggressive and tries to push this. Shots are being fired and the Immortal is spawning another half minute. But now a blue team is starting to finally get a bit of headway at the bottom of the map. and is pressuring. They are trying to turn it around though. Thrall is coming in. 10 is so close. They need to be careful. And Tassadar is already in trouble. Mirrodin jumps in, gets the kill. Heroic abilities are there. Do they go Sundering? The arrow. Oh my god. Fully missing here. But Sundering connects, and that allows them to get a kill on Greymane. If Hanzo's... They still get the kill. Even without Hanzo connecting the arrow, they're still picking up kill after kill. And that is a Nubarak gone. They get every single hero down at the bottom of the map here. And now they can focus onto the Immortal again. Right there, they came in, jumped after Deckard Cain as Greymane falls. And then they go for Nubarak and drop him too. Machko is dead. 8 kills to 0. And of course, they are just crushing this. A little bit surprised. I mean, what they could have done is go maybe for the bottom fort as well and destroy this even further, but they want to have the big shield Immortal and they're going to get it. The blue team has absolutely no way of doing anything about it without level 10 abilities. If they don't want to lose more heroes, they would be well advised to stay away from the opponent until they have heroics. But by then, we have, of course, already the 100% shield Immortal. And they're invading. They want the camp. They're invading with everything that they have. 10 isn't ready yet for the blue team. They're losing too much. And they're losing a Nubarak again. Now they have heroics. But they've already lost the camp. And they lost a Nubarak. Mirrodin is jumping to the top. They're trying to go for Chen. He can keck away here and will. They might be... Yeah, they're isolating Thrall. And even with Sundering, no way. No way. Oh my god. What? He actually made it. Thrall made it out of the fight, which is just crazy. How is that impossible? Thrall was able to get out. The top fort is destroyed. And I cannot believe that they didn't get that kill. It was in tower range. I expected the tower alone to already drop him. Boy, they are in such a tough spot. They're KD agents with such a performance here. What a comeback in this series. Unbelievable. Incredible plays. Simply is also alive, also able to get out. I mean, erst hatten sie kein Glück und dann kam auch noch Pech dazu. No chance. The fort at the bottom of the map gets destroyed. That's a 2-level advantage and a talent lead. Just wow. Even the topside keep has taken some damage. Keep damage. 9 minutes in. Well, and now they're going for Nubarak in. Machko gets taken out and is dead for the 4th time now. And it's a desperate move here by the blue team. They're just like, guys, we need to get kills. Let's do something. But they lose Chen. Now they're chasing Greymane. It's an absolute brawl at this point. The blue team is throwing everything that they can against the opponent's team. And it is just not working out. Not even a little bit. So, yeah. There's camps up on the map that they're about to take again. 23,000 damage from Greymane. We got 29,000, 30,000 for Thrall. But it's absolutely bonkers. The momentum that we have there is crazy. This is not a snowball anymore. This is an absolute avalanche that's just rolling down the lanes and destroying the blue team wherever they stand. Hogger takes the camp at the top. They could force that fight again. And Nubarak, yeah, they're flanking in. They want this. They go for the Storm Bolt. They connect with Tassadar. Mirrodin jumps out. Has Avatar up. They're getting some damage in. Cocoon has been used against Thrall. Nice Shockwave. Big Shockwave. Huge. Thrall has Sundering in a second. Can use it if he wants to. Probably doesn't even have to for Greymane. They want him without it. Deckard Cain is already dead. Greymane is gone. They're chasing them at the top even further. And Thrall can still use Sundering here. Uses it, splits it, but does not get the kill on Tassadar. They're dropping Machko again. And now we're having a 3-level advantage. They could just go for that keep directly. And honestly, why wouldn't they? So they're starting to take the keep on. Chen is trying to prevent it from happening. Finally a kill. Maybe a kill. Maybe. No! This is insane! How are they not dying? The keep is about to go down and Hanzo is already working the Immortal. Catapult is griefing or the keep would be gone. But that's insane! How has nobody died on the red team? Halftime show is over. There's pressure through the camp at the bottom of the map as the wall gets opened up here. The blue team is trying to fight for the objective. But this is just... like, what? Is there some immortality hack in the game that I'm not aware of? Absolutely bananas. 16 is going to be available in a moment. They're going to get 16 in a second. The camp is pushing at the bottom of the map. And, yeah, this is the next talent and the big advantage for the red team. Sundering again in, Hogger a little bit on the run. The engage was a bit better initially for the blue team. The problem is that they're still far down. The arrow hits hard and Hanzo follows it up with Brightwing. And they're getting the kill on Anubarak. Chen is gone. They go for Greymane. They go for Deckard Cain. The entire team is getting absolutely farmed here. 3 heroes already gone. That's Greymane eliminated. They're chasing Tassadar. Endless is dead. 5-man team wipe. The Immortal is taken. And just to again stress this, 20 kills to 0. 20. And now, of course, they go for the core as the Immortal is going to travel through the bot lane. Which, by the way, the bot lane wall on the keep is gone and the keep itself has already lost damage to the camp that was pushing in earlier. There's absolutely no way to save this game anymore. None. None whatsoever. Even if they wipe them right now, this is just toast. What an absolute and incredible show of strength here from the KD agents. Perfect series for them. Absolutely perfect series. They just need to make sure that nobody is griefing and dying now. But the core is already losing hit points. Bullseye hit by Hanzo as he kills Greymane. Here comes the Immortal. What a performance. Great job by Club R initially on the first map, but then afterwards it was the KD agents putting on a clinic and destroying everything in their path. Another 5-man team wipe to end the series as the KD agents take the victory and Club R drops into the losers bracket.